All right, let's dive into a single, really powerful moment. It's a story that's all about the fragrance that fills a room, an incredible act of devotion, and yeah, the bitter cost of betrayal that's lurking right around the corner.
So, what is the price of true devotion? That's really the question at the heart of everything we're about to unpack. It gets you thinking about value, about sacrifice, and what something or someone is truly worth. Okay, so picture this. We're in a town called Bethany. It's just 6 days before the Passover, and you can feel the tension building up in nearby Jerusalem. But here, in this quiet little town, a dinner is being held to honor Jesus. So, who's at this dinner? Well, you've got Jesus, of course. Martha is there, busy serving everyone, and her sister, Mary. But the guest of honor, the one everyone's probably staring at, that's Lazarus. And he's not just a friend. He is a living, breathing miracle. The guy Jesus literally just raised from the dead. I mean, can you imagine the energy in that room? It's in this setting, with this amazing vibe of friendship and with living proof of a miracle right there at the table, that Mary does something, wow, something completely out of the blue, an act of extravagant, almost reckless love. She uses something called pure nard. And let me tell you, this isn't just some perfume you pick up at the market. No, this stuff was the real deal. An incredibly precious imported oil. It was basically the peak of luxury back then, the kind of thing reserved for the super wealthy or for the most sacred occasions. To really put this in perspective, this little flask of perfume was worth, get this, a full year's wages for a regular worker. A whole year of backbreaking labor, all concentrated in that one small bottle. So what does she do with this insanely expensive perfume? Does she just put a little dab on his wrist? Nope. She breaks the whole thing open and pours all of it on his feet, the lowest, dustiest part of the body. And then, as if that's not enough, she does something incredibly intimate and humble. She lets down her hair and uses it to wipe his feet. And you can just imagine the scent, right? This wasn't a quiet little act anymore. That costly fragrance just fills the entire house. There's absolutely no way anyone in that room could ignore what Mary had just done. But, in a moment this beautiful, there's always got to be someone who objects. And sure enough, one voice just cuts right through that amazing smell with a complaint. A really sharp, cynical challenge. And who's the one complaining? It's Judas Iscariot. Now, on the surface, what he says sounds, well, it sounds pretty reasonable, doesn't it? He's basically asking, why this waste? This could have helped so many people in need. He frames it like he's the one who's concerned about social justice. But here's where we get the crucial backstory. There's a huge difference between what Judas said and why he said it. His stated reason sounded noble, caring for the poor. The real reason? He was a thief. You see, he was in charge of the group's money bag, and he used to help himself. So his objection wasn't really about charity at all. It was about a missed opportunity to line his own pockets. Jesus, however, sees right through all that cynicism. He knows Judas's real motives, and more importantly, he knows Mary's heart. So he immediately steps in to defend her, and in doing so, he gives her act this incredible, deep, prophetic meaning that nobody else saw coming. His response is simple and direct: leave her alone. He completely reframes what she did. He says, look, this wasn't a waste. It was a prophetic preparation. It was an anointing for his burial, something he knows is just days away. Mary, in this act of pure, overwhelming love, had unknowingly performed this sacred ritual. And then he says something really profound. You will always have the poor among you, but you will not always have me. Now, this is so important. He's not dismissing charity. Not at all. He's saying that this moment, right here, is unique. It's sacred. It's fleeting, and it will never, ever happen again. It was a call to recognize the importance of the present. But while all this drama is unfolding inside the house, we need to remember what's happening outside. This intimate dinner is taking place against a really dangerous backdrop. The very miracle that brought them all together, Lazarus being raised from the dead, well, it has kicked off a deadly chain reaction. And you can trace the steps pretty clearly. First, the miracle happens. Second, because of the miracle, belief in Jesus spreads like wildfire. This terrifies the chief priests, who fear losing control, so they start plotting to kill Jesus. And finally, the threat gets even bigger. They realize they have to kill Lazarus, too. So why Lazarus? It's simple, and honestly, kind of chilling. He was the living proof, the walking, talking evidence of Jesus' power. You can't just explain away a guy who is dead and is now sitting at the dinner table. So, to erase the miracle and the belief it was creating, they felt they had to erase the man.
And this brings us right back to our central theme. This story gives us two starkly different ways to respond to something extraordinary. You have Mary, who sees it and just anoints it. She pours out everything she has, no questions asked. And then you have Judas. He sees the exact same thing, and his first instinct is to appraise it, to calculate its cash value. It leaves us with a pretty big question, doesn't it? When we encounter something sacred, something amazing, what is our first instinct? To anoint it or to appraise it?